Alright guys, I had to make a video. I just got this Leatherman in the mail. Brand new. Just opened the box. Just want to give you guys some thoughts on this. I was wondering if maybe some people had some of the same issues. Let me prop my phone up here. So first thing I noticed right away, I have a Leatherman Wave. First thing I did was I went for the knife blade. It's super hard to get open. Like honestly, it would be easier if I just carried a two-handed pocket knife than to try and use this. Been gonna have to try and loosen the pivot a little bit on that. So that's number one. Number two, fit and finish wise, on my Wave, both of the pliers are about the same amount of tightness, so that way they hold together when it's closed. This one I noticed that the knife side arm is a little loose. And there's not really much I can do about it because, like I said, the knife is hard to open, so if you tighten the pivot, you're not going to be able to use your knife. You loosen the pivot, you're still going to have this issue. It's not that big a deal. You know, it's just it's something else I've noticed, you know, just a little thing, I guess. Number three, the wire cutters, you can't really tell, but they're rubbing each other like they weren't ground right or something. And normally they touch like just a hair, but they normally just go past each other. You can almost kind of see, I don't know if you can see with the lighting, but there's a burr on that wire cutter from it scraping against the other one. So it doesn't, and the plier head's a little sticky. Like they didn't put hardly any oil on this thing at all. If it was the stainless, it would have probably been pretty bad corrosion in there, but I'm going to have to get some knife pivot lube and put it in there and work it in. The other thing I noticed was, well, for one, all these handle tools are way too tight. You about bust a nail trying to get them open. I don't know if that's something they did because it's a slip joint, but you can hear it scraping. Like it's so tight. And then the scissors, this one I actually did mess with a little bit, loosen the pivot a little bit. But these scissors, this is where I really have a beef with this thing. You open these scissors, right? The back spring here, this little, for the spring action on the scissors, it doesn't move to the position it should be, and it should swing back over when you open it up. And you have to actually push it. It's not, like I said, it might be a tiny gripe, but it's one more thing I've noticed. And it might have something to do with this back spring, because these are really designed to go with a lock, and that kind of helps push on this arm here. But it's something that, you know, needs to be talked about. Once again, that's another thing is when you go to close these, if you don't have the pliers closed, it will kind of push on these handle tools. And the only reason I'm complaining is because I've had a Leatherman Wave for years, and this is a half of a Wave, and you would expect at least half the fit and finish. So, and then one more thing. See, look. See what I'm talking about? You have to make sure the pliers are perfectly closed and set into the handle. And one last thing is this file. You see how it sticks up like a millimeter above the handle edge? You don't have that on a Leatherman Wave. And it's stiff as all get out, trying to get it out, because once again, they didn't put oil in this thing. This is fresh out the box, by the way. I don't know if this is old stock that I got from online or what. But no oil anywhere to be seen when I pulled it out of the box. This is just, it's a good concept, but poor execution. It's a good thing that I'm going to modify this thing anyway and tune it up to my specifications. This file is going to be going. I've got a hacksaw adapter coming in the mail. This blade's going to be coming out. I'm going to be putting a serrated blade in. I've got it right here. And the scissors I'm doing away with. I'm putting an eyeglass screwdriver in. And a flathead. I'll probably put the eyeglass driver where the can opener is and put the flathead where the scissors are. But it's just a good thing that I don't plan on keeping this thing stock, or else I'd be returning it. Because these issues are, quite frankly, when you pay, I got a good deal on this thing. I got it on sale. But it's the idea that when you buy a brand new multi-tool, and they're charging like 89 bucks for this thing, right? Do you expect good craftsmanship? I mean, this is supposed to be, made in the USA, and supposed to be their claim to fame is their fit and finish. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys, but if you keep this up, Victorinox is going to kick your butt with the Swiss tool. That's just full stop, and then this pocket clip, I don't know why I think they should have brought it in, they should have put it in a baggie like that and just let you put it on yourself, because why would you give somebody a pocket clip and a belt sheath? Like, who's going to use both? And then another thing is these handles, right? It's kind of hard to tell with the pocket clip on, but they don't sit evenly. One of them, this one is crooked. Like they didn't mill it right, or maybe there's a bend somewhere that you can't really see with the naked eye, but you can tell towards the end of the tool. And this is a problem that I think Leatherman's been dealing with for years, because I used to have a Leatherman Blast that did the same thing. It had a loose handle like that, and it had a crooked hand. It was crooked towards the end. And it's like, you guys been making multi-tools for like, what, 40 years now? Don't you think you should have this thing down pat? It's just really disappointing. This is the first new Leatherman I've bought in like 4 or 5 years. And I was excited because I had, high hopes for it, because I've had Leathermans in the past. Well, the Wave was good, the 2nd gen Wave. Super Tool 300, decent. I've had some loose handle tools in that one. Rebar was okay. I'm gonna be honest, guys. If you're looking to get a multi-tool on a budget, I would go with the Wingman and skip this. Or even, heck, I would even say get a Gerber at this point, because I've never had a new Gerber with this many issues out the box. If this is what their quality control is like look at that. Look how crooked that file is. See that? It's like dragging on the... And it's hard to pull open. That's going to tear your file. That's a diamond file. Scraping that metal is going to tear that up over time. So, basically, my overall opinion on the Leatherman Curl, if you got to have a Leatherman and you want the outside opening blades, if you don't have to have an all, I would just honestly get a 2nd gen Wave if you don't care about the placeable wire cutters, because at least maybe you might get a good tool. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. There's a scrape mark right here from where I pulled it out. This is honestly really sad. And I've heard a lot of issues with the Leatherman Bond, but not too many complaints about the Curl. Mostly people have, and I might have just got a bad one, That I understand that happens. I used to work in a factory. I get it, You send out hundreds of these things every day, you might have a bad one. But it's just the idea that if you even have one go out like this, that's enough to make somebody that's not like me, that doesn't know much about multi-tools, that maybe they were only just going to have one multi-tool, and that was just going to be it for, 20 years until the warranty expires, then they're going to look at this and they're going to be like, well, these Leathermans are crap. And they're going to send it back, and they're going to buy a Victorinox or a Gerber or a Roxxon, or even, heck, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if those Ozark Trail multi-tools have tighter tolerance than this. And they're made in China. I mean, this is just sad. Like, do better, Leatherman. That's all I gotta say.